Interview with Bad Asian Daughter. How did you begin to take an interest in working out and fitness? My brother told me I was thunder thighs and that a size 8 was huge. Get a load of these. Pretty, huh? Amazing! Why did you go to Harvard? I wanted to go to Yale because of the music school, because I just didn't like the idea of going to the place everyone expected me to go to. I was sitting at the kitchen table and my brother and dad both said, well, you should go, just at least so you can say you went. So I did. Couldn't really argue with it. Why did you major in biochemical sciences? Because the day I called home as a freshman wanting to major in history and literature, my dad threatened to pull the plug on the tuition money if I didn't stick with the plan of going to medical school, getting a useful degree. Why did you go to medical school? Oh wait, no. Why did you get honors in biochemical sciences? Because the day I reached the point of being totally miserable, cutting mice tails in the lab and traveling down to Harvard Medical School every day that I could, my senior year, and sort of missing out on everything that was going on campus, and I got a meeting with the head tutor of biochemical sciences, James Michel, MD, PhD. He said, at this point it's easier if you just write the thesis. Get out of my office, basically. I mean, he did say, it's easier for you to just write the thesis. Just bite the bullet and write it. Even though I had no desire to. So I did. I felt trapped. Felt like I couldn't say no to him because he was the chairman. So I did it. Now there's a leather-bound book in my parents' house that they can refer to as their daughter's thesis. Why did you go to medical school? Because the day that I broke down crying and yelling in the summer for, again, having to spend my summer putting together a stupid application for things that I was lying about wanting to do, I was threatened by my dad that my life would be ruined if I didn't. So I did it. Don't know how I got accepted into medical school based on the pack of lies that I told, but I did. Why'd you go to University of Michigan over Duke, University of Chicago, and whatever the other ones you got into? Because of the music school, period. Point blank. Didn't care about anything else. Needed an outlet, and I was determined that I was going to get involved in music. That's all I had at that point. Why did you finish medical school? Because I thought that they would finally shut up and let me start making some of my own decisions and doing what I want to do. I thought that if I only just got that degree, it would all stop. Why did you go into venture? Well, again, I was trying to hang out after medical school and sort of look for a job and let things happen on my own pace. And my family came to my rescue again. A friend of my brother's offered me opportunity to work as an intern for free, live with my brother, save some money, look for a job, and I ended up doing such a good job that they hired me 6 weeks later for an amount of money I couldn't turn down. And still wasn't enough, because then came the pressure to get my family and personal life in order and check all the other boxes. Why did you buy a house in Cleveland? Because there was nothing else to talk about, since I was clearly not getting married. I was making all this money, traveling, and all that was left to talk about was the tax advantage that I would get of not paying rent every month and instead paying a mortgage. So I did that. Moved by myself into the big old house and stayed there for approximately 4 months. When I woke up to the fact that, wow, I'm gonna end up in Cleveland, Ohio for real, like Shaker Heights, Cleveland Heights, like following the path of these people that just are arbitrarily there, I don't really think so. how did you end up in Menlo Park? Because when I left the cush job and the partner track and the success position that I was at, everyone expected me to take over the world and create the next Starbucks, and I knew Menlo Park. It was sort of comfortable, it felt safe and clean. There were people of my level living here, and it was safe, and it felt acceptable to my family to say to them, I live in Menlo Park. And I wanted to, make sure that it had the appearance of not taking a step back, even though I was totally willing to do whatever it took, including standing on the sidewalk in 100-degree weather at Palo Alto Art Festival, handing out flyers to start my school. I did everything possible. And why did you end the school? I was done. I think that I was really physically exhausted. There was just no question about it. And I was literally on a treadmill that I didn't know how to get off of. I didn't know how to stop myself. I didn't know. I had lost. It was like Frankenstein. I had sort of lost the ability to even recognize my creative power. My power. I really felt like all of these 3 people, as the school grew, I had less and less power because it was all in their hands, and I was always trying to meet all of those people's needs, and there wasn't enough for me to go around. I didn't have a way to come back to center. My family was no longer center for me because it just became unrecognizable. I was never comfortable in my brother's house. It was just like I was an accessory to some family portrait game that was being played, and they were trying their best, but I just didn't feel like I needed to be there. It didn't add to me, and I wasn't really, in my feeling, wasn't adding a lot to that situation. And so that was the only place I ever traveled for myself until Santa Fe. And that just made me remember that the best time of my life was at Lake Austin Spa, the year that I left Primus, the year before I left, because, I had never had a week of doing exactly what I wanted to do all the time, and just eating exactly what I wanted to eat, moving my body. And now I do that for myself every day, more so. I still work on it as a way to integrate into my daily lifestyle, but Santa Fe was another time where I just had that autonomy. And I'm slowly learning that I don't need to be completely alone in order to experience that sort of freedom. And that's a gift that I'm learning gradually, to feel my own inner freedom even within the context of other people. It's very difficult because I get drawn in so quickly. So I ended the school because I realized that no matter what I did, nobody in my family was gonna validate it. And I was running out of sources. Nobody in my school was getting me, nobody in my family. It's like, okay, Lisa, you really gotta get into yourself. And I was halfway through the life coaching program at that point, and I realized all these things, just like how much of my life I lived for the sake of other people. It was a huge cavernous hole of anger and tangled up emotion that I'm much more free from now. But this step that I'm embarking on right now, in terms of articulating it, sharing it, owning it without shame or guilt, is really an important integration step. And this bad Asian daughter just gives me a forum for it.